Let's take you to this breaking story of the day. Now Springbok skipper Siya Kolisi will join French top 14 club Racing 92 after the 2023 Rugby World Cup. To discuss this further, we're now joined by News 24 senior sports reporter Khanyiso Tshwaku and SABC News sports producer Thando Mxoli. Welcome to both of you. Let's start with you, Khanyiso. How has the sporting world received this news from Siya Kolisi that he published on his social media platforms this morning?
Good morning and Happy New Year. Look, it's a shock. It's a shock because one needs to remember that I think Siya did sign a long-term contract with the Sharks not so long ago. So one would have thought that there would be the committal that he would actually stay with the Sharks until the duration of that contract. But look, I think also that's how the world of professional rugby works, where one needs to understand that the big money in terms of salaries, in terms of benefits, lies with the French clubs. So while it is a decision that shocks, it is one that falls pretty much in line with where the power of the rugby money world is. I mean, France do have a lot of financial muscle through their clubs, and their clubs pretty much are able to buy the players that they want. So it is a decision that's come as a shock, especially so early in the year. But I think at the end of the day, these are the kind of decisions, especially when a player like Siya, who's turning 32 this year, we'll also need to look at long-term financial security, because after the World Cup, he'll be actually nearing his mid-30s, which is where generally careers, especially for loose forwards, tend to slow down a bit. So, look, it is a decision that's come as a bit of a shock right now, but I think it does fall in line with players making sure that they maximize the earning potential from their rugby careers.
Thando, do you agree that it was a bit of a shock? I mean, about 2 months ago, Siya published or put a post out on social media that he's since removed, where he said something along the lines of, and he was in bed with his wife, something along the lines of best news ever. And everybody was starting to speculate that Rachel might be expectant. She literally had to post something assuring her followers that she wasn't pregnant. And do you think this was what he meant?
It's possible. I don't know what you meant. Firstly, Happy New Year to you and the A team over there. Look, ultimately, there's a couple of things. This move makes sense for me because there's also the collaboration between Racing 92 and the Sharks union through the majority stakeholder at the Sharks called Marco Makoti. They're basically involved in a sharing of ideas type of program whereby players and coaching ideas will go between the two clubs. Siya's at a stage whereby he's done all he can for the Springboks. He just has, if he defends the World Cup, that will be the cherry on top. But he's won the World Cup. He's basically won the British and Irish Lions. Those are the two biggest accolades for any Springbok. He's served the country well from his days at Western Province till now at the Sharks. So I think for me, it's a good time to close the South African chapter. That said, he'll still be eligible to be chosen for the Springboks, even if he carries on to play for Racing 92 in France, because we don't have a clause that says we can't select overseas-based players. But still, for me, it's a good time after this coming World Cup to start afresh for SA Rugby and say, let's look at the next project. Let's look at who else we can choose to lead the team forward.
Well, would have loved to have a longer conversation, but I'm sure it's a story that will continue to dominate, especially in the sports bulletins going forward. But Khanyiso Tshwaku, News 24 senior sports reporter, and Thando Mxoli, SABC sports producer, talking to us there about that development that comes in an important rugby year. It's a World Cup year, but Siya Kolisi announcing that he'll be moving to France just in terms of taking his career forward.